Y'all want to know how those Instagram girls do it? This right here. This is what they do. I'm just kidding. I don't know what they do. This is just what I do. Hey guys, what is up? What's good? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be bringing to you an instructional eyeshadow tutorial on how to blend out eyeshadow, or how I blend out eyeshadow. Not so much do's and don'ts, just because I feel like eyeshadow do's and don'ts on YouTube are very, very negative. It's kind of like people telling you how to do your makeup, and in reality, there's no rules in makeup. You can do whatever it is that you want. But today I'm gonna show you guys my tips and tricks, things I've learned along the way, and things I have implemented into my eyeshadow routine to get a very nice, flawless, seamless blend. So I'm pretty much, in simpler terms, gonna show you how to blend eyeshadow like a pro. So if you guys are very excited about today's video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also click the little bell so that way you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video. I upload 2 new videos every week, twice a week, and I'm sure you guys don't wanna miss out on it because I'm just a ball of fire over here. Not really, but yeah. Without further ado, let's get into it. You guys probably can't believe it. I have my zoom lens on my camera right now, which is why we're so close, up close and personal. I figured that this would be the perfect video to get up close and personal with, since I am being a little bit more detailed, sharing with you guys my tips and tricks. And that's exactly what this video is. I don't really want to shed light on makeup do's and don'ts. While those videos are very, very popular on the internet, I feel like they're very negative in a way, because like, what if somebody does their makeup the way that you're telling them not to? You know what I mean? There's no rules in makeup. Makeup is simply meant to be fun. Looking back on it now, back when I first started out in makeup, I kind of wish I had a video like this to kind of refer to, so that way I was a little bit more knowledgeable about eyeshadows and how to blend and things like that. So first and foremost, I definitely recommend that you start off with some kind of eye primer. Now you can use any eye primer you want. There are so many different ones on the market that are really great. My personal favorite is the Urban Decay Primer Potion Eden. It completely mutes out my eyelids, so if you have any discoloration or veins or anything like that on your eyelids, it's going to completely mute that out. I also really have been loving using just concealer or whatever I use to underline my brow. In today's video, I will be using this guy right here. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Medium 1 Custard. I'm just going to use this, and I'm just going to pat this all over my eyelid all the way up until my brow bone. One thing to note is you want to make sure you have a nice, smooth, even layer of your primer all over your eyelid, so that way everything is very nice and seamless. When picking shadows for your look, you want to make sure you have a variety of shadows. Now I have this little Z palette right here that I put together. It has a mixture of like Anastasia shadows, Makeup Geek, also Belfiore, and MAC, some of my personal favorites. I will list all of these shades down below in case you guys are interested in the shades that I have popped in here. I know it's ratchet, I know it's janky, but you can tell it definitely gets a lot of love because these are some of my go-to shades. Now I also have this palette right here. This is the Mischief Minx palette by MAC. I got this in the mail today and I was really excited to use it. As you can see, it's right up my alley with warm tones and such. But as you can see in this palette, it doesn't have a bone colored shadow. It doesn't really have transitional shades or anything like that, which is why I will be dipping between this one and this one. Ooh, different because I'm so close. So I'm first gonna start off with my base color. Now from personal experience, I find that this is key in blending like my transition shade and my crease color. If you are of a medium, olive, or deeper skin tone, I definitely recommend applying a base color that is closest to your natural skin color from your crease all the way up until your brow bone. I will just be using this one right here called Mirage, and the brush I am using is a tapered blending brush, E35 by Sigma. Now this brush can be any brush that you want. You just want a nice thin even layer right here in the crease and up to the brow bone. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to start from the outer corner, and I'm just going to go back and forth in windshield wiper motions from outer to inner corner to set that crease. Also going to dust this directly underneath my brow bone. Like I said, this does seem like a step that is very, very unnecessary, but when I started implementing this in my eyeshadow routine, I definitely saw the difference. When I didn't apply this base color down, what would really happen is my transitional shade would tug on different areas of my sticky base, causing it to look very blotchy and patchy, and that's definitely not what we want. We want a really nice, seamless, effortless blend. So applying a very thin layer of a bone colored shadow of some sort will definitely help with the overall blending process. Honestly, this this is a step that I wish I knew about sooner. Let's be real. One thing I learned along the way when getting into makeup is the beauty of transitional shades. When I say transitional shades, it's kind of like a very light wash of color in my crease. I really believe in layering eyeshadows and really building them up to their full intensity, as opposed to going in with a ton of shadow all at once, because then you have a ton of product sitting on your eye. That's extremely hard to blend out. I've been there, I've done that, but I also know some girls who kind of build up the shadow really intense and buff it out. I want to say Nikkie Tutorials has recently started doing that, and it works amazing for her, but that's definitely not something that works for me. I definitely have to layer the colors, build them on top of each other to get a very nice seamless blend. So one of the key factors in doing that is using the correct brush. I absolutely love using a brush like this. This is my baby, my ride or die. This is my Sigma E40 blending brush. As you can see, it is very fluffy, so it's going to give you a very nice diffused look. So first and foremost, I'm gonna go in with the transition shade, and when I say transition shade, it is essentially working from lightest to darkest. So the shade that I'm gonna go in with first is this one right here by Belfiore in the shade Toffee. Taking my E40 blending brush, I'm just going to dab it into the product, tap off the excess, and as you can see, that's how much product I have kind of like sitting on my brush. I should probably switch to another E40. This one's like all frayed out, but I love her. I love her this bad. She's so cute. But anyways, once you have product sitting on your brush, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start right here towards the outer portion of the lid, and you are just going to ever so lightly run her back and forth in your crease. And since we did apply that base color down, this is really just going to create a very nice, blown out, seamless, smooth look. I am doing this with a very light hand. I'm dragging it from outer corner to about inner corner. I don't want to take it all the way right in here, especially because I did apply my foundation already, so there's no way to clean up if I take it too far. So you want to start from the outer portion, go inside, and then do windshield wiper motions. I know this may seem like one of those steps that seems useless because it is such a faint wash of color, but I'm telling you, layering shadows is key to me. I did talk about layering, so the next shadow I'm going to layer in my crease with my E40 blending brush is a shade right here called Frappe by Makeup Geek. I'm gonna take my E40, just pat it inside of the shadow, and then I am just going to apply her right here towards the outer portion of my lid, and then I'm just going to wipe her back and forth. Very light hand, not too heavy. I also find that it helps to hold your brush down here as opposed to very close to the barrel like this, because then you're gonna apply a lot more pressure, which means you're gonna apply a lot more product. So you wanna use a very light hand, hold it closer to the end, and then just go back and forth. As you can see, I have a very nice blown out seamless blend all over my lid. Now I really want to focus on deepening up my crease a little bit. I do things a little bit differently. I will be going back in with that shade called Frappe by Makeup Geek, but I will be using a completely different brush, which is just like a game changer. So I will be using this guy right here. This is my Sigma Blending E25. This is my baby, this is my ride or die. Holy grail brush. You can use like a Morphe M433. I use that brush in the past, but I just find that my Sigma ones hold up a lot better in quality. So I will be using this guy. If you look very closely, it does kind of have like a tapered effect to it. It has longer bristles in the center, and then surrounding the longer bristles are shorter bristles, which is like magic in the blending process, you know what I mean? So I will be picking up Frappe, like I said. I'm just going to take my brush and dip it into the product. So like about that much, and then I am just going to tap off. I do like to start off with a little bit of product at a time because like I said, it's a lot easier to add and it's so much harder to take away. I like to first start off by just pouncing the brush right here towards the outer V. Once I have placed that product, I will just drag it back and forth into my crease. And I do have my eye open, so that way this brush is really in my socket. From outer to inner corner. And then I also like to just go up like this because, like I said, this brush is surrounded by shorter bristles. So when I flip my brush up like this, it helps blend out any harsh edges. and really gives you that perfect blend. This is probably my favorite method for deepening up my crease. And I just do this back and forth till I feel like there's no product left on my brush. I'm gonna dip right back into the shade Frappe. I'm only gonna pick up product in the very center. I'm going to tap off, and then I am going to place the product right here towards the outer V of my eyelid. I like to place it and then I like to flick it inwards a little bit. And I am using a very light hand because, as you can see, I do have my base on, so I'm not trying to be too messy with this. Normally when I do my shadow, I'm pretty freaking messy. So I'm just placing it on this outer V and I'm buffing it inwards. Whatever is left on my brush, I'm just going to do the same method. I'm going to place the brush in my socket while opening up my eye. And then if I need to just go upwards like this, I will, because those shorter bristles are really gonna help blend out that harsh edge. After I have color placement on both eyes, what I like to do is go in with a clean Sigma E25, and I'll just do the same thing, and then I'll really just take my brush and then pull it upwards, just so that way I have a clean brush for further blending purposes. Oftentimes I find when I use the same brush that I used to apply the shade, it does become a little bit muddy and blotchy, so I do like to go in with a clean brush and I like to just pull it upwards like this, and this really helps further blend out the shadow. From my MAC palette, I'm gonna pick up the shade right here. This one is in the shade Flaming Femme, and I am gonna pick it up on that same Sigma E25, and I'm going to push it right here towards the outer portion of my lid, feathering it inwards. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, except I'm only gonna focus it right here towards like the outer V of my lid. I'm not gonna take it all the way up in here. Just gonna place her here, and then I'm gonna rock back and forth. Do the same thing again. I'm gonna place it. Gonna do it one more time because I want the outer portion of my lid to be the deepest. So I'm gonna take the brush with a little bit of Flaming Femme and I'm just going to pat it right here on the outer V like this. And then I'm just going to rock it in that crease while still pulling my brush upwards. So once you've rocked this back and forth in the outer V to the point where you feel like you have no more product really left on the brush, this is when you will switch to a clean Sigma E25, or when I would switch to a clean Sigma E25. So I'm just gonna take this one and I'm gonna do the same motion, except this one is clean, so it's gonna be a lot easier to blend out that edge. Y'all wanna know how those Instagram girls do it? This right here, this is what they do. I'm just kidding, I don't know what they do. This is just what I do. Now it's at this point where you're kind of feeling like, well, that transition shade was a little bit pointless because it's kind of covered up by all those other shades. But this is when I will go right back into that transition shade in the shade Toffee on my Sigma E40, and I'll pick up a little bit of that product and I will just ever so lightly blend. Just so that way it peeks through a little bit. It is now time for me to apply my lid color. Today I'm gonna use this one right here, this gold, and this one's in the shade V Frisky. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this on with my finger. Y'all can't tell me that that glitter color is not something else. Like, I'm here for it, I'm feeling it, I love it. I'm really loving how like the natural like base of my eyeshadow primer kind of like peeks through and it's not like completely foiled glitter, if you know what I mean. So I'm probably gonna keep it like this. I'm now gonna go in with my brow bone highlight. This is a step that is a game changer in a sense that it kind of acts as a magic eraser. So let's say you went a little bit crazy and you got a little bit too carried away with like blending out the shadow. This kind of acts as your eraser. I'm just going to use Mirage and I'm just going to place her right here on my brow bone. Don't look at my brows because I'm trying to grow them out, so they're a little hairy. Forgive me. But I am just going to place this on my brow bone. And then I'm also going to place it right here towards the very front of my brow, because I do notice that I drag this color a little bit too high. So applying this color right here, like that, really just like helps. I'm gonna pick up this Doodoo Brown right here, and I'm gonna take it on an EB15 by Sedona Lace. This is a little bit more of a dome brush, and I'm just going to feather her right here. And when I say feather, I mean like feather. Like, this color isn't meant to take over our entire crease color. It's meant to just add a little bit of definition. All right, my lashes are on. I'm looking pretty like fluttery, like I'm gonna fly away, I'm gonna fly away. Okay, anyways, now moving on to my lower lash line. I pretty much like to replicate my crease colors on my lower lash line. So to do that, I will be using this brush. This is my flat definer brush, E15 by Sigma. All-time favorite brush to really just pack on the color on my lower lash line. So the first color, I'm gonna use the shade called Frappe, and I'm just gonna take my brush, dip it in there, so that way it's nice and coated on the tip, and then I'm just going to pretty much push this onto my lower lash line. And I am going very, very slow because I do have my foundation and concealer on, and I don't want too much fallout. So I'm just pushing it right up against my lower lash line, like so. Another brush that I find to be absolutely essential when doing my lower lash line is this one. This is my Pencil E30 brush by Sigma. So once I have Frappe right there, I'm just going to take this brush and I'm gonna go alongside the edges to really just feather that out. If necessary, I will go in with a little bit more of Frappe on my pencil brush, and I will just run her like this. Now, I like for this part to be super smoky because I feel like it really just makes it look like smoky and sexy and sultry. So I just intensify it as I go with my pencil brush like this. And I just run it back and forth. And I do have my pencil brush on the edge. I'm not doing it like on the tip. I do find that it's a lot better when I just hold it on its side. Following that, I'm gonna pick up the shade called Flaming Femme on my flat definer brush by Sigma. And I'm just going to bring this down as well, pretty much connecting that outer V color with my lower lash line. And I want it to start deep right here towards the outer edge. I'm just wiggling the brush back and forth, really intensifying the outer portion of my lower lash line. Just like that. And I'm not bringing it all the way in. I'm stopping about midway. Whether or not you want to add an inner corner highlight or a color in the very inner rim, it's completely up to you. I'm gonna go the extra mile, and I'm obviously gonna do an inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. This is called Mac Nylon, and I'm gonna use my E36 Performance Blending Brush by Sigma, and I'm just gonna pop this right here in the very inner corner. This is essentially going to draw light to the eyes and give you a nice pop. I like this brush to apply inner corner because it's like a pencil brush and a blending brush all in one. We zoomed all the way out. Let me get right. Let me get ready. But this is the eyeshadow look. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we blended it to perfection? Let me know, comments down below. I will have everything linked in the description box: brushes, palettes, shadows, techniques. Maybe not techniques, but I'll have everything listed in the description box down below in case you guys are interested in any of the products I did use in today's video. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see on my channel. I've been really into doing like first impressions and full face videos, but I kind of want to branch out. I want to do some other things. So if you guys like these kind of videos, if you guys want me to do a beginners series on my channel, beginner series, let me know in comments down below. And I don't have anything else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.